Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Duffy Aquatics. This isn't the best episode. I wanted to be filming the paradise fish, but today we've had a extraordinarily large heat wave, and I just wanted to show you. So this is what heat shock looks like on fish. They start going to the surface, rapid gill movement, and a bit of shimmering in the body. The water in here is probably close to 40 degrees. We had about a 45-degree heat wave today. The paradise fish, of course, they took it like champions, and so did most of the rice fish, but this one had very little cover, and I've only just got this shade netting up now. These ones were fine because of the larger water lily in there, but I did lose 4 tubs of fish. So I had shade netting over these 4 ponds that had endlers and guppies in them, but the wind blew it off while I was at work, so I lost all 4 tubs. I now no longer have blue koi guppies or any endlers. So luckily I hadn't put anything in these tubs. I've only just kind of set them up. I knew there was a heat wave coming, so I put shade netting on them, but apparently the wind had other ideas. These ones have my cacatoides and my honey blue eyes. They're fine because they had some water lilies over the surface, and then this lychee tree which kind of shielded them from most of the midday sun. But after these ones being exposed with crystal clear water and in black tubs, absolutely nothing you can do to save them. But to cool down these tubs, because they are still quite warm, I've got the hose in here refilling, but all you've got to do, just from a distance, just kind of spray it in like that. You don't want to add too much water in too quickly, because a sudden temperature shock will kill your fish, but you do need to just gradually oxygenate the water and lower the temperature, because the higher the water temperature, the less oxygen the water holds, so that can kill the fish. These guys were fine, the water's still quite warm, but because these tubs are a lot deeper, the fish were able to shelter down the bottom while the plants took most of the heat. So that's why it's very important, if you're tubbing, to have plants in your ponds or secure your shade netting, because it's something I don't think people really think about, and shallow bodies of water heat up very quickly, especially if you've got the UV resistant black tubs. These guys were fine because they're in the shade, same for all of these fish. These ones, however, you can see they're quite stressed still. They're all congregating in the plants. I had a filter in here which kind of sucked up most of the algae layer that I have in the bottom here, so the shrimp and the fish have all been quite stressed from it. So you can see they're all huddled like that, and I've got to get some circulation and stuff going into this pond just to save them. I thought this floating bundle of plants would be enough to keep the water cool, and same for these water lilies, but the water lilies haven't shot out new leaves the way I thought they would, because I've left it a bit late for potting them up. There's one cherry shrimp that's come up to the surface here as well, just where my hand is, and again they should be down the bottom where it's a lot cooler, but unfortunately the pond doesn't have even temperature with the cool spot at the bottom like they usually do. So you can see the sword tails on the other hand, lots of Valicinerea, which helps kind of diffuse the heat. So they had some, this water is probably 6 to 7 degrees cooler than this one. And same for this one, because it's got all the bacopa and stuff, fish coming up to the surface now. But if I stick my hand all the way to the bottom, like this water is really warm at the surface here. If I stick my hand all the way down to the bottom underneath the hair algae layer, which is why I leave hair algae in here, the water is really cool, and that's where all the shrimp are hiding. These ponds over here are absolutely fine. The water lilies did a great job of diffusing all the heat, so I can turn this video into a positive. I'll show you guys what I've got in all my ponds. So I've done a lot of work to get all of this done, but it's got to still get a lot more done. So I haven't finished everything, but yeah, so it's just showing you what's in here. So these guys have had a heap of babies. So these are Moscow blue guppies, but I've actually mixed them with another type of guppy, which I can't remember the name. I'll have to ask Nat, the guy that gave them to me, but I just wanted to enhance the kind of blue color and have some really nice guppies with huge fins. So hopefully these babies, which should be the crosses, will show us something really nice in a few weeks when they've gotten some size on them. So this pond here, these are all my 1 visa water lilies. So if you're ever after water lilies, let me know. I've actually got a thermometer in here, which is great. I can see what the temperature is in this pond. 34 degrees. So this is 34 degrees and this water is much hotter. So I'll actually put this in here and we'll come back to that when I finish going around through here. So this is my magenta guppies. They're absolutely stunning. It's a group of boys there. Should be some females somewhere. I'm going to cross these magenta guppies with some of my female chili endlers if I can catch some out, just to see what happens, because chili endlers are actually a cross between endlers and magenta guppies, so they get their really nice colors from. So I want to see what happens if I do that myself. These are my Thai orchid guppies, with all assorted water lilies in here, of all different types in here. These are my red kois. So they're down there. So these are the 2 females. They've had a whole bunch of babies. Great to see. And then in this one, also really nice water lily too. You can't tell at the moment, but this is like a pinto water lily. So I want to see what the flowers look like. They haven't flowered yet. In here is my my red guppies. So that's the stud. That's the male, full body red on him. He's got 3 girlfriends in here, one that is mature and the other 2 are just sexed out, so hopefully I get a whole bunch of babies from them soon. Again, he's probably a bit heat stressed, poor thing. He is an albino. One of the females is not, and 2 of the other females are albinos. So the big female's just down there, she's not albino, so hopefully he's done the deed and I'm going to have some really nice guppies come out of them in the next 30 days. We don't talk about that bucket. Mollie pond has done well. We had a heap of rain the other day, and we had to shove a whole bunch of fish that had jumped out of the tubs into here. So I've had to drill some emergency drainage holes in here, which you wouldn't be able to tell from today. But a couple of the swordtails jumped into the Mollie pond, which is why I didn't have line bred swordtails next to the other swordtail pond, just in case that happens. But heaps of mollies coming up really nicely at the moment. There's big lyre-tail female swordtail in here as well. She jumped over luckily into this pond and not onto the paving. And then I've got all these swordtails in here. So I actually put a koi sword, or the kohaku sword, in here with the lyre tails, and they're not firecracker red, but they're some of the descents of the ones that I had that were meant to be firecracker red swords, which are albinos. But doing that, so having the grandparents of the firecrackers and then having the koi sword going in here, which is also an albino, has thrown out some really bright red sword tails from that cross. So I've got to sort these guys out and actually grade them, but I'm going to probably find some really interesting things in this pond from that crossing. And there's some very light sword patterns on some of these fish. Like you can see the underbellies on them have a bit of white. As they mature, it's kind of like a grey. But I want to get them in some fish tanks and see what they actually look like. These ones are my tuxedo koi guppies. Lots of water lilies in here, so they did fine, even though their water's a bit warm. They're all really hungry because obviously as the water heats up, it speeds up the fish's metabolisms. So this one is a breeding project. I lost my last of my female dragon guppies, but I've got 1 male that's left, so I'll put a whole bunch of the Dumbo ear platinum red females in here to cross out with the 1 dragon guppy that was still in here. So hopefully they throw out some really nice colors. Like it's obviously, because I didn't get all virgins, that male there has come out just as a regular platinum Dumbo tail red guppy. But as you can see, the platinum is underdeveloped because he would be classed as a cull for that strain. Gold dust mollies in here. This one just down there. Some lyre tails, some regular. So they should have some babies soon. These are the rocket frog tadpoles, and then I've got some sunset platies in here. And this is the main hoard of the platinum red Dumbo ear guppies. As you can see, some absolutely stunning colours on them, males and females. And then my platinum mosaic Dumbo ear guppies. Then this one here are my Gertrude, so my spotted pseudomodal. So the pseudomodal Gertrude, which is the spotted blue eye rainbow fish, you won't be able to see them because they'll be hiding at the bottom today. They're kind of more of a nocturnal fish, so a little bit disappointing to try and look at. So I'll go back around the other side. This one's just got some platinum lyre-tail mollies in here. Haven't had any babies from them yet, but they've just been kind of fattening up in this pond. These are 24 karat gold guppies in here. Quite a few. I'll have to grade them. They'll all be different grades. And these ones in here, these aren't the 24 karat golds. These are the yellow tuxedo guppies. I've put one male 24 karat gold guppy in here because these are all girls and I want to see what their crossing will produce. And then these stunning fish are the blue galaxy guppies. I absolutely love them, and they've had some babies in here too. Not as many babies as I would like, but they've had some. Then these are marble sword tails in this pond. They've been breeding up a storm. They're really hard to catch out of this pond too. Then obviously my platinums. So the thermometer that I put in here is just over here. It's only been a couple minutes, so I doubt it's risen that much. It's now, so this is saying 36. So this is 36 degrees in here, which is hot. Variatus platies in here. Wagtail platies in here. They'll be hiding because they always hide from me unless I'm putting food in here. And then more Variatus platies in here, and the males get really nice beautiful gold bodies with a bit of a red tail. Balloon mollies are in here. They've been having babies, which is great to see. And there's a couple of the mosaic guppies in here, which I couldn't get out when I was catching them, so they're just going to cohabitate with the mollies now. So these ones are the Pseudomogul luminatus. They're not a spectacular fish when you look at them top down. They're definitely meant to be side viewed fish. There's a couple swimming there. I think that's a male. I haven't seen a heap of babies in here. I've actually got to separate them out. So I've just been colony spawning them in here, and I found, so for the pseudomoguls, if you want to colony spawn them, the mosaic plants are a godsend. They breed like rabbits in it, and they don't seem to hunt down all their babies, but there's quite a few babies in here and snails, so I think this pond has reached capacity. I actually need to remove fish and then start sorting them out that way. These are the orange Medaka rice fish. Nice colours on them. I've got black rice fish in here, so a bit hard to see, but that's them there. Then these are, I think they call them Miyuki white rice fish. There's some platinum coloration on them. And then I've got the Kohaku rice fish in here. So the white color on these guys is underdeveloped, but I'm assuming once they get some more weight on them, so I've got to power feed them up. They're a bit skinny, and they are kind of undersized, because you see they're absolutely tiny compared to these guys, and even these guys have got some growing to do on them, because rice fish actually get to a hefty size. I've got some babies in here, so I found this has been a great little thing to do, is if I don't have room to put the rice fish eggs somewhere to hatch out, just doing it in a bucket inside their main tub, so they've got somewhere to hide underneath, as well as I know which strain is which strain. Hatching out some rice fish in some green water in here. These are the tiger endlers. These are the only endlers I have left now. And the ivory king cobra guppies that are in here. So I'll go up to the back. So these are tricolor rice fish with the speckles, or the lame, I believe it's called. Some down there, they're a bit stressed out as well because they got really hot. The platinum rice fish are a bit stressed out because they got really hot. There's more tricolor down here, but I'll go around the other side to see. This is where my breeding pair of paradise fish are, big male here. So I've got to do the how to breed video from them, but I'm just going to get some B-roll footage from Katie. She got great footage of them underwater. But yeah, luckily they're tough as nails. You put them in the freezer, put them in the microwave, I don't think they care, just as long as they're wet. And then yeah, so these two are tricolors, so I'll see if I can get some footage of these guys. Oh, it's a bit hard to see. The really stunning colors on these guys. Where are you guys? Oh, you're here. Yeah, look at the colors on that. Absolutely beautiful. And then these are a different type of tricolor. These ones that came from my friend. These are his culls. So their babies are a lot nicer than what they themselves are. So the main ones from in here were also culls as well. But they've put in some of their first generation of babies to be new breeders as well. And they've got way better coloration on them. I've got one female paradise fish in here. So she was in with them, so he could select which girlfriend he wanted. And she jumped into that pond during the rain. Then she decided she didn't want to be in this pond, so she jumped into this pond. Decided she didn't like it here, so now she's in with all the water lilies, and she seems to be pretty happy in this pond. Then these are all the baby platinum rice fish that I'm growing up. So the bigger ones here, medium-sized ones here, and the tiny ones that are in here. So I've got to grow them out first, and then I will select which ones will be breeders for me for next year, and then sell off the rest of them. This one here, honey blue eyes are in here. Can't really see them because they're so darty. I've just got a trio in here that Nick gave me. That's of course the famous Nick from Keeping Fish Simple. And then I've got my Pistogramma cacatoides in here. I don't know if they're breeding. I've just put them in here with some water lilies, some caves, and some Indian almond leaves. So if I see a bunch of babies in the near future, that's going to be a really big surprise for me, and that'll be absolutely great. But these ponds, I wanted to set up to move the fish from inside just out to here so I can drain the tanks and then get everything sorted out inside. But unfortunately, it didn't work out so well with these ones getting cooked. Luckily I didn't move stuff into all of them, and then we get hit with this heat wave. That would probably make me cry. Final pond I have is the old Goldfish pond, which I've actually got some assorted swordtails in here as well, and they've had a heap of babies, which you can see. So big fantail here, and then there's like a speckledy fantail and some goldfish nymphs, which is a cross between a fantail and regular comet. And to my surprise, these guys, well, not surprised that they've been breeding, but to my surprise, the babies have survived. I've actually got some baby fantails and comets in here as well. So I just noticed that the other day when I saw one swimming around. I don't know if they're all come out here. They're all waiting for their food, but this water in here is way cooler because of all the plant coverage, which is just what the goldfish need. Some beautiful longfin comets, some swordtails. The nymph there. That's it. That's one of the baby's fantails from last year that I found by accident. It's coloured up to be nice and orange. Oh, and then there was one nymph just there, little gold one. Sorry. So yeah, no, they've just been breeding themselves in this pond and self-raising, which is really cool to see. And the swordtails have been doing just well, just fine in here as well. Yeah, look, there's one of the babies out there. There's also a gold and a red and white one, sorry, a little red and white baby somewhere, so hopefully it'll come out soon. I can catch it on film. Do the final check on this heater, not heater, on the thermometer. So seeing still around the 36-degree mark, and this is after it's been out of the sun for quite a while. So this probably got close to 40 degrees. So it just shows how tough guppies are and how tough cherry shrimp are, because they're still alive in this pond. So this wasn't the happiest of videos, but just a little mini tour of what's been happening and how important it is to make sure, if you're tubbing, have shade if you can for them. Put plants in or around your tubs, just help shelter them from the sun. A lot of things happening here, and a lot more things that need to happen here. So breeding the paradise fish will be in a hopefully next week, because we get a public holiday next week, so hopefully I have some time to film then. But thank you for watching my channel and all of you guys' support. Hopefully I don't lose any more fish to the sun.